Well, hello everyone. I've got a few spare minutes at the moment. I'm in Nagoya right now with the band, and we've been doing some various TV interviews and stuff today. But just before this one, in about 10 minutes, we've got a bit of time, so I want to talk about groove and my ideas about groove. This is a little, I wouldn't say it's out there, but it's not terribly educational so much as it is speculative. Basically, I think we go through phases in terms of groove in pop music overall, or at least you can kind of spot a general theme based on people's dissatisfaction with what they're listening to in terms of boredom. People get bored with the old sound, they want something new. And that's also true in terms of the groove. What do I mean by groove? Well, I guess a simple example would be shuffle versus swing. Like, you got your shuffle beat, say in blues or early rock, you know, the dun 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 dun, and then you've got like the swing beat in jazz. Now, ostensibly they're the same thing, you know. One's bum ba bum ba bum, and the other's bum ba bum ba bum. They're both like dotted quavers and semi-quavers on the stave, or you know, triplet quavers, you know, triplet crotchet and a triplet quaver put together. But actually, the difference in groove is quite striking. Like, swing is more da 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 da. It's hard to explain. Like, what's up? Pardon me, boy. Is that the Chattanooga choo-choo? Track 29. You know, and you listen to things like Herbie Hancock's Watermelon Man. There's bits in that where he's practically playing straight quavers, but it's just the groove is so loose that he can do that. Whereas you compare that to shuffle and it's bump 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 da 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 da, it's right on. It's not loose. It's a pretty tight groove in that sense. It conforms quite tightly to the notes it's ostensibly supposed to be. So, what am I getting at here? Well, early rock and roll, right? You had a groove so loose that the drummer could be playing straight beat and the bass could be playing a shuffle, or vice versa. And somehow it worked. That was a very loose groove. And then after that you had, after that you had straighter grooves. You had grooves that were more, today we'd say quantized, you know, lined up with where 1, 2, 3, and 4 fall in the bar. I think you both had looser and tighter grooves, leading, say, in the 70s, 60s, with like late 60s with prog rock and stuff. I'd say the groove got less loose, but you know, with Motown you've got some really loose grooves. I mean, you look up Stevie Wonder playing Superstition. There's a video on YouTube of him playing Superstition in Sesame Street, and my goodness, the groove is so loose. It's just fantastic. It's really organic. Then you had the 80s come along, and you had a groove that was a lot less loose. You had a groove that was a lot tighter and based around the snare, you know. Well, what's a good example? Well, rock, you know, big stadium rock was fashionable in those days, and also metal. And that stuff's about being very on the beat. That's where you get your metronome drummers, you know. And there's a place for that. My point is that at the moment we've gone from, in around the 2000s in pop, with Destiny's Child, Say My Name, R&B, you know, placing that kick at different places. That was a very loose groove, especially after the boy band years, where it was pretty tight and on the beat, you know. Doom, 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 oh baby, baby, how was? Oh, that's a little late in the game. A better example would be, bye, 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 don't wanna be a fool for you, everybody. Doom, 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 doom. You know, it's right on. There's not terribly much looseness in the groove. And then you had the 2000s, Say My Name, Destiny's Child, and the groove was quite loose. Say my name, you listen back to that, and it's, yeah, especially compared to like Destiny's Child's later stuff and Beyonce, it's quite a bit looser. And then we went into a more like electronic influenced hip-hop time on the charts, and that's where we are at the moment. Dubstep's the same thing, with a slightly looser groove maybe in the bass line. Some would argue it's even tighter. But we're in a really electronica-influenced time, and it's a very straight groove. It's a very tight groove, I would say. I think a time's coming when it'll be a looser groove that takes over. As people get tired of a really strict groove, things that are looser again will become fresher. Like, do you remember when we went from having hip-hop in the clubs and everybody slow dancing to like hearing that 4 to the floor, Rihanna sort of stuff. Lady Gaga is a great example of around about that time the transition occurred with Just Dance. And it was like, wow, this is so groovy, but it was in a different way. Time's coming, I think, when we're going to have a looser groove again. I'm not exactly sure how. At the moment, my money's on glitch hop being used in pop somehow for that looser groove. The way dubstep's kind of the soup du jour of music right now. But I guess it's anybody's guess, really. I'm just predicting in about maybe 5 years, maybe sooner, maybe 10 years, we're going to have a change in groove, and it's going to loosen up considerably. Possibly with the reintroduction of organic, organic instruments and such into the top 40 pop hip hop music, which my brother assures me is happening. That'll happen because as you get actual musicians involved, the groove will necessarily get looser. But we'll see. Anyway, got to start working now, so I'll see you guys later.